GH1 TV, your best experience.
A very good morning. Welcome to GH Today News. My name is Loretta Charlotte. It's also time now to have a look at our headlines this morning. GH1 TV's versatile broadcast journalist Ridwan Karim Dini Osman has won the prestigious Lorenzo Natalie Media Prize 2018 for his stories on the portraits of the countryside, which showed how some 6 communities are thirsty due to polluted water. Also ahead, we will tell you how one grandmother of a BECE candidate is showing support by staying close by at the exam center. Meanwhile, one center has taken the issue of no cheating a notch higher. And curbing plastic pollution took center stage as the world observed an Environmental Day on Monday, with fishermen complaining of catching plastic instead of fish. These and many more stories coming up this morning. Stay tuned. And this morning on top, we start with some great news there, where GH1 TV's versatile broadcast journalist Ridwan Karim Dini Osman has won the prestigious Lorenzo Natalie Media Prize of 2018, a global award run by the European Commission. Ridwan and other top-class journalists from Africa, Asia, Europe, the Middle East and Latin America were honored by the European Commission at a special prize-giving ceremony held at Tour and Texas in Brussels, Belgium on June 5th of 2018.
According to the 7-member grand jury for this year's award, which included Bruce Shapiro, Executive Director of the Dart Center for Journalism and Trauma, and the BBC's Africa editor, Mary Harper, Ridwan's piece, titled The Price of Thirst, shows powerful storytelling, creativity and innovation. The Price of Thirst provides a captivating narrative of women, men and children walking as far as 30 kilometers just to quench their thirst at what appear to be contaminated, unprotected, disease-infested dams shared by both humans and animals. The story was broadcast alongside a social media hashtag activism, hashtag Northern Lives Matter, which culminated into a national water forum to launch a campaign to solicit support to provide potable water for the deprived communities. The story's impact was fast and felt, as it attracted support from Festigard, a global health company which donated water purification machines to the thirsty communities. Ridwan Karim Dini Osman becomes the second Ghanaian to have won the award, after Raymond Archer, who clinched the title in 2002. Ace investigative journalist Anas Armiao Anas attempted the awards in 2009 and 2011, but could only emerge as a runner-up in both years. Ridwan, A multiple award-winning journalist was in May this year named as a finalist for the 2018 edition of the International Center for Journalists' prestigious Michael Elliott Award. In December 2017, he was adjudged Best Journalist in Rural Reporting by the Ghana Journalists Association for his compelling story on water challenges in Ghana's Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's hometown. Earlier in November 2017, the young news anchor and producer was declared Best African Journalist in Peace and Security Reporting by the African Media Initiative. Ridwan Karim Dini Osman won the award for his courageous and innovative feature on chieftaincy clashes in northern Ghana. Ridwan, a graduate of Communication Studies from the Ghana Institute of Journalism, received a trophy and a €5,000 cash prize from the European Commission as part of his package.
I must say that this is really a humbling experience for me, but I quickly want to say that the issue about water accessibility is not peculiar to my home country or the continent. It has resonance across the globe, and I am hoping that this particular recognition will spur action for the narrative to change. We don't want the prediction by Goldman Sachs to come to pass that indeed the next world war will be about water. That should not happen. And so I'm urging all leaders across the globe, water accessibility is an issue that we must take seriously. And as journalists, we must also take advantage of social media. Let's keep pushing the agenda until we get the right things done the way they are supposed to be done.
The Natalie Prize, which is awarded to journalists who have demonstrated a striking insight and particular dedication to reporting of human rights issues within the context of development, was established in 1992 to promote quality journalism and to commemorate the dedication of former Vice President of the European Commission, Lorenzo Natali.
Well done to Ridwan there, my colleague. Yes, what else do you expect? This is our product, our colleague, GH1 TV, your best experience from people, obviously, who are the best. Top of the crop. Well done again to Ridwan. Now, let's continue the rest of our stories this morning. A rare show of love and support to a junior high school student sitting for this year's basic education certificate examination. On the second day of the exams, the grandmother of one of the candidates spent the day at an examination center in Nangwa to show support to her granddaughter.
Ernestina Cranston patiently waits at the corridors of the classroom while her 14-year-old granddaughter sits for the third paper, Integrated Science of the BECE, on day 2 of the examination. For many who have followed the BECE for years, this show of love and support to a candidate is rare.
The Saito parents, as if the education we don't understand. You see, it's only the private ones who are concerned about their children. But me being an educated person, I thought it's worth it for me to come and support her. You know, most of the public schools, their parents are illiterate, and even if they are not semi-literate, they don't understand the education. You just go. When you finish, you finish. But I know what is in education, that's why.
Deputy Minister of Education Barbara Asha AEC, during her visit to examination centers within the Lejokuku-Krowa Municipal Assembly, met Ernestina Cranston and urged her to keep supporting her grandchild. The minister visited 5 examination centers in Lekma, where the exams went on smoothly. According to the supervisors, the candidates comported themselves well and have adhered to all the exam regulations.
I think that we started on a good note because we need to make sure that the children that are going to the senior high schools are children who have worked hard and they deserve to be in the spirit senior high schools that we place them. And so this exams is very important to us. And so far, the discipline, the seriousness, the dedication of the teachers, it's, for me, overwhelming. So I want them to keep it up this is the second day, and I would entreat them that all the other days will also be good.
At one of the centers in Nungwa Presby JHS, nurses were on standby to provide first aid to candidates.
We give them first aid. Some came with diarrhea. We had to prepare ORS for them to take it along so that they will be sipping it whilst writing. We had headaches, so we gave them paracetamol, some pain relief to keep them. The menstrual pain, somebody soiled herself. We had to change her.
The BEC candidates sat for 2 papers on Tuesday: Integrated Science and Basic Design Technology.
Environmental activists have embarked on a march against extermination of primate species in Ghana. Kojo Ansah brings us more on the following report.
A fringe community of the Etiowa Forest Reserve in the eastern region witnessed many activists holding placards and sharing flyers to create awareness on the need to protect primate species. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, globally more than half of the world's primates are at risk of extinction. Without action, these essential closest mammals to humans will be annihilated from the world. Speaking to GH1 News, Dr. Edward Wiafi-Dean of the Development Studies and Project Coordinator at Presby University College said primates are essential to tropical rainforests, pollinating trees and dispersing seeds across vital carbon stores, hence our ecosystem engineers.
We realize that wildlife conservation in the country is dwindling, and the wildlife products are dwindling at an alarming rate. Realizing that Ghana is the first country to lose a species, that is these wadrons red corridors. And we took it upon ourselves, the Senior University, which sought funding from Critical Ecosystem Partnership Fund. And we are using this funding to stakeholders on the need to conserve these animals.
Some participants, including sole chiefs in the fringe communities, called on government to resource the Forestry Commission to protect the Etiowa forest and its biodiversity.
If they get to know all these things, I think they will appreciate the importance of the forest and they will do everything to protect the forest.
Because all as I say, a cohort, a baby only now. Since a puppy, I have a forestry. I don't know, and I know a tree.
Still on the environment, the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, in collaboration with the Environmental Protection Agency, is developing a national plastic policy to promote recycling and set up good collection system to manage plastic waste in the country. The project, when accepted by Parliament, will help transform waste into resources. Odelia Ejuman Prempe brings us more.
Urban planning, UN Development and Program indicates that Ghana produces 1.7 million tons of plastic waste annually, which could be recycled to produce affordable and sustainable building materials. But the plastic menace does not affect Ghana alone. Statistics from Ocean Crusaders show that there are 5.25 trillion pieces of plastic debris in the ocean. Out of that mass, 269,000 tons float on the surface, while some 4 billion plastic microfibers per square kilometer litter the deep sea. Shoppers worldwide are using approximately 500 billion single-use plastic bags per year. This is an indication of how plastic waste is likely to take over the world if drastic measures are not taken. As Ghana joins part of the world to mark World Environmental Day, the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, in collaboration with the Environmental Protection Agency, is developing a national plastic policy to promote recycling and set up good collection systems that will help manage the excessive plastic waste in the country. Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, said this initiative will not only manage plastic waste menace, but also increase Ghana's resources.
We are trying to do that as a government. The EPA Act and the Electronic Waste Control Management Act of 2016 and other legislations give us the mandate to control plastic waste. It's not just drawing up a policy, but we have to draw up a very credible implementation plan and how to go about it. So we have to do it very well. We don't want to start banning things we cannot enforce.
Acting Executive Director of the Environmental Protection Agency, John A. Pamang, said it is the aim of the institution to protect and improve Ghana's environment.
We don't want to take action in a haphazard manner that, the general public will come and then start complaining, industry will be agitating. We want to make it in such a way that it is very clear for everybody. And the plastic policy, it will be subjected to stakeholder consultation. Everybody will make their input. And at the end, when Parliament or Cabinet approves it and we are all implementing, the actions that will be taken are things that we will all have agreed on.
The theme for this year is Beat Plastic Pollution. Since 1974, World Environment Day is the UN's most important day for encouraging worldwide awareness and action for the protection of our environment.
The Minister of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, has assured Ghanaians that the National Plastic Management Policy is the sure way of tackling plastic waste when Parliament approves it. For now, marine life is facing irreparable damage from the millions of tons of plastic waste that end up in the ocean each year. The devastating effect of the plastic pollution is taking a toll on fishing activities.
Throughout our world's oceans lurk a silent killer: plastic. Plastics are found in our beaches or floating in and along the coastal areas. 80% of these plastics on our coast and in our waters are generated from inland. They are either blown or comes through stormwater drains or thoughtlessly dropped. Plastics can cause devastating damage to the environment. They are non-biodegradable and, according to scientists, plastic materials which have been disposed of can stay in the environment for up to over 1,000 years. Ghana's beaches have become an eyesore following the astronomical increase of the plastic pollution. The Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, led by Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, a new policy to tackle plastic pollution.
We have worked on the implementation plan and then how to roll it out. So we're almost done, and when that is done, we will make it known to Ghanaians as to what we think should be done. But even before then, there are a few things that we can do ourselves. We are saying that if we are going to the shopping mall, you don't have to go with several plastic bags or come with several plastic bags. You can use a cotton bag, which you can reuse many times or for many years.
Littering of plastics is a daily occurrence in Ghana, in the cities and in towns. Despicable images of the streets, gutters and rivers filled with plastics speak of a nation that has done nothing much in the environment and sanitation sector. Our beaches are typically characterized by these indiscriminate plastic waste strewn at the shores of the beaches, a worrying trend which is actually having an adverse effect on fisher folks here in the country. The development, if not attended to, may actually replace the fishes in our oceans, as the report by UNEP suggests that 8 million tons of plastics are actually in the ocean, and if this trend is not actually checked, by 2050 it is actually going to replace the fishes, something which is actually going to question the existence of fishes in the sea and also affect human lives. In recent past, a number of Ghanaians, especially fishermen, have mounted pressure on the government to have the political will to ban plastic usage. In 2016, the Ministry of Fisheries and Agriculture Development indicated $135 million worth of fish was imported in 2015 due to the reduction in the country's fish stock. According to the sector ministry, only 20,000 metric tons of fish is produced annually against the consumption level of 950,000 metric tons yearly. Chief fisherman at Jamestown admitted the challenges fishermen contend with while fishing and the economic impact it has on the fishing business.
A fisherman goes to sea to bring fish and not plastics. So it is rather it is spoiling our business.
Meanwhile, the sanitary officers of the AMA tasked with the sole mandate to clean up the beaches are running out of breath. Speaking to GH1 News, Kwesi Esau has been cleaning the beaches for close to a decade and says the impact is not being felt. It is estimated that out of a total of 8.3 billion metric tons of virgin plastic produced, 6 billion metric tons ends up in the ocean. The severity of the issue is felt in a BBC report 2 weeks ago where a whale was lost in southern Spain because it had ingested 29 kilos of plastic waste. The global phenomenon has attracted a joint effort to eradicate plastic waste in the oceans before 2050.
Government announced in June that it was prepared to release 200 million cedis to fight plastic pollution. This is yet to materialize. For now, Minister of Sanitation Joseph Kofi Ada says government is still researching on best approach to deal with the plastic menace confronting the country.
Let us be good stewards of the earth we inherited. If we are to go on living together on this earth, we must all be responsible for it. This is a quote by Kofi Annan, former United Nations Secretary General. In his passionate appeal to make people more responsible for their environment, it looks like this quote has gone unheeded without any action. Ghana may be one of the world's fastest growing economies in 2018. Though the country has made such a tremendous impact in the economic world, it still struggles to get on top of its waste problems. It is common to see gutters clogged in almost every area. Streets, market and beaches are filled with plastic waste. Official figures estimate that only 2% of the about 22,000 metric tons of plastic waste generated annually in the country are recycled. In June 2018, during the President's State of Nation address, government announced the release of 200 million cedis to improve sanitation in the country. The question that continues to linger on the minds of many Ghanaians is why Ghana has not joined the over 10 African countries who have banned plastic usage in their respective countries. A move that was even made under the NDC with Mahama Ayariga as the Environment Minister.
We have a difficult situation in Ghana where we don't comply with our laws. You're very much aware of the smuggling that's been going on in Ghana, which is difficult for us to control, especially if you consider smuggling of textiles. So if you just go out there and issue a ban and say effective 1st June 2018, we ban plastics, what are the mechanisms to be able to enforce that? How do you stop somebody from bringing plastics in from Togo, from Burkina Faso, from Ivory Coast, from elsewhere? So all these are things that you have to assess properly and structure the mechanisms in such a way that when you really do ban, you're able to, in the first place, find some replacements for those products. Secondly, you are able to enforce and ensure that that doesn't happen at all.
The minister further stated that government is working assiduously to reintroduce sanitation officers back into the community by the end of June 2018.
The first level of training that's taking place, simply reorientation of our existing staff, who are the environmental health officers, on the bylaws, to be sure that they're conversant with bylaws and how to apply them when they get supported by the enforcement teams. The enforcement teams are actually now in the recruitment process. We hope by the end of the month we'll be able to get the first set of people exposed to the system to be tested to see how well it's going to work.
But Secretary General of the Environmental Service Providers Association, Ama Ofori Entry, says there are alternatives government could explore to curb the worrying menace.
Plastic is just about 16%, very little, of the waste stream when you take the solid waste. So we should be able to recycle at least close to 15% of that 16% that we are able to retrieve and then put them to good use. And this can be done easily. So we need the support of the government to create that enabling environment for us. Give us the policy framework that we need, and also release the plastic levy fund so that we can use it and put it to better use.
She admonished Ghanaians to be responsible for their environment. She says it is about time that Ghanaians also sit up to make Ghana a better place.
And our environment is a gift from God. You see, when you talk about our environment, it's a gift from God. It is nature, and God gave it to us. So we all have a responsibility to ensure that we protect it. If we do not protect it, nature will find its own course to, protect itself. And that is when it results in disasters and all what have you. Wherever you find yourself, and especially in terms of even your own waste that you have generated, make sure that the storage is done properly.
The menace of plastic waste cannot be overemphasized, as plastics generally take up to 1,000 years to decompose.
There you have it, guys. It's all about attitude. Let's learn to appreciate and take care of our environment, even beyond World Environmental Day. Now, let's have a look at some of our other stories this morning, where officials of the National Petroleum and Authority have stated that they might not be able to meet the December 2018 deadline in implementing the cylinder recirculation module as directed by President Akufo-Addo. At a meeting to update the press on the progress on work on the LPG recirculation module, executives of the NPA said they needed a minimum of 8 battling plants to enable them run the module successfully. Sedina Francisca Dixon-Ahin was there for GH1 Business.
President Akufo-Addo, at a cabinet meeting on the 12th of October 2017, directed that the cylinder recirculation module of liquefied petroleum gas distribution be implemented before the end of December 2018. The directive meant LPG bottling plants were to be sited away from congested commercial and populated areas and relocated to vantage points which were considered safe environmentally. The directive was, however, vehemently resisted by members of the LPG Marketers and Retailers Association, who registered their displeasure with a strike action. At a meeting to update the press on progress with the cylinder recirculation, the CEO of the NPA, Alhassan Tampuli, said the model is the best for consumers in terms of safety.
We want to be able to deliver a model that responds to our peculiar needs. We do not seek to copy any of the examples that we have gone to see. We want to do a bespoke arrangement that will be enduring, that will stand the test of time and be able to deal with the challenges and the fears that we have over the past couple of years. We have to give this policy a chance. We have to roll it out, see how it deals with our peculiar challenges.
LPG retailers lament over 4,000 jobs are likely to be lost in the process. However, the NPA estimated that over 4,500 new jobs are likely to be created. Again, jobs of LPG bulk transports, LPG bulk distribution companies, and that of retail outlets transitioning into distribution centers will be protected.
Then we also would maintain and protect the local jobs in the LPG value chain. As the Chief Executive earlier mentioned, yes, we've gone around several countries, we've seen what they do, but in developing our model, we want to protect the local jobs that we have created over the years.
Let's now have a look at other news making headlines in other parts of the world. On international news this morning, at least 192 people are missing and 75 are dead as a result of the explosion of the Fuego volcano in Guatemala on Sunday. Officials say villages on the slopes were buried in volcanic ash and mud. Rescue work on Tuesday was disrupted when a new eruption sent hot gas and molten rock streaming down the volcano's south side. More than 1.7 million people have been affected by this eruption, with more than 3,000 evacuated. Fuego is a very active volcano material which occurs in heavy rain area. So when heavy rains hit the volcano, it washes and deposits away into mud flows which carry a lot of debris and rocks. They are extremely dangerous and deadly as well. Time now for the weather forecast for the day. And this brings us to the end of our news bulletin this morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. You go ahead and have a splendid day ahead. Standing by is Kafui for more on GH Today.
Okay, thank you very much, Lerato. Have a beautiful day yourself. Welcome to the show. Finally, the day has arrived. 6th of June, 2018. Number 12 premieres today. 4 showings, 3 p.m., 5 p.m., 8 p.m., and 10 p.m. More details after the traffic check. Stay with us. My name is Kafui Day. This is the traffic check for 6 June 2018, first one at 6:30, and we are taking you straight to the Ring Road Central, and this is what it looks like this morning. Okay, so traffic check for those of you in the Nima and the Salam Down areas. That is what it looks like. From the Ring Road Central, we're taking you to another part of the capital. This is the Burma Camp area where it's quite clear. So for those of you living in cantonments, coming from Trade Fair, coming from 37, it's a clear route for you. That's your Burma Camp traffic check right now. From Burma Camp, where do we take you this morning? First of all, traffic checks, we're taking you to another part of the metropolis. This is the airport bypass area. Also very clear at this time. And yeah, for those of you coming in from airport or coming in from the 37 area, from the Afgo area, this is the traffic situation at this very moment. These are real-time pictures. From there, we take you